Good day, my lords and my ladies. How fares thee? And welcome to part 3 of my personal story of this alcohol-free journey. Tales of an Undrunk Pirate. Subtitled, Wrong! So, there I was with my second wife after 15 years of marriage. Been together about 17, deciding to separate amicably. We wound up having a divorce via mediation, and I kept it inside, but it really crushed me. She had a boyfriend, had a boyfriend for about over a year, and I had a girlfriend. And so, as we sold off through the yard sale most of our life together, which was part of my anxiety. I developed bad anxiety and panic attacks during that time, knowing my daughter was going to be living with her, and I would not be seeing her every day. Joint custody, and of this life that I had hoped to have stayed with forever. The anxiety and panic attacks really started during that time. And I did eventually move in with my girlfriend, but after a year of our relationship, I knew that was not good. Well, both my girlfriend and her boyfriend were in the poly community, and that we all allowed each other to see whomever we wanted to. For whatever reason, she decided to catfish me a few times with different things, which I found odd because with communication, it's, if any of us liked someone else, that was part of the enjoyment of talking about, well, what was your relationship like with that person? For me and the ex-wife, that was a good part of our marriage, was talking about others' emotions and feelings and getting to know someone even more. Not only just with ourselves, but what is their relationship now with someone else. So for someone to do that, I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I stuck around anyway when I had all the red flags. But let's just drink. So much is happening in my life that I didn't care for. Let's just have another drink. And then pandemic soon hit. I was a Gen Xer. I knew how to hunker down. Most of my friends were latchkey kids. My parents would go out dancing, leave me home alone. Even before it was legally capable, I still stayed at home while they went out dancing. So hunker down? Fuck, I'm an expert. But that increased my drinking, like so many others. And that went to daily. While it wasn't a lot, maybe one or two, it did start the pattern of the everyday drinking. And I would blame pandemic. I would use that as my excuse. I didn't fear the coronavirus. And I had told people I had made peace with my maker. I was ready to go. Just please, God, don't let me take someone else out. If I'm gonna go out, let me go out alone, not be the cause of anyone else. I did lose a number of friends because of that. Co-workers, friends, Renaissance buddies. It hurt. But I had said what I had said, mainly because I didn't want to live anymore. I didn't care if I lived or died. I was ready to go. And drinking just, had me put the pedal down on that accelerator, headed toward that dead-end brick wall. Let's just get there quicker. I didn't realize it much at the time, but that's really what was happening. I didn't love myself much. Hadn't found much self-respect. The relationship with the girlfriend lasted 9 years. A number of times she told me to leave, move out, and I did. Get a hotel for a week, and then she'd come back, I'm sorry. And I'd accept her back in and move back in. But all red flags, all because I didn't respect myself enough. Also, I didn't know at the time what an addict I was for affection as a people pleaser. You know, that is one of my love languages, was show of affection. And I was starving for it. I didn't know I was codependent. I hadn't even heard the term. Couldn't tell you what that meant. But it was the cause of me sliding down that slope even more quicker. More drinks to numb out, to not feel self-respect and leave when I should have, but to stay in that. Because yeah, if you're unhappy, why have to deal with those feelings? Why have to uncover who you are? Why have to sit with your own thoughts and in silence? It's easier just to drink and forget about all that. And for 9 years, I did that. Well, 8. Because like I said, after the first year, I knew it was going to be bad. First year was great. And I won't say much, but she was mean. But I accepted it. What turned out also to be a sexless relationship for years. Partially. I won't go into those details. But again, something I just accepted. Because I didn't have much self-value, self-love, self-esteem. Didn't understand what codependent was. But I understood that I could drink it all away. Don't have those feelings. Don't have those emotions. Let's not address it. Just stay comfortable. Stay comfortable. And I did. For years. But toward the end, again, both of us being poly, and I never wanted to marry again, because after that second marriage, I vowed, no, never again. My heart's been broken too many times. I don't want to have that happen. I vowed upon my life I would never get married again. I'll shack up for the rest of my life if I love you. And she agreed, she understood. But I had wound up someone I had worked with. At this point, it had been over 15 years. We had started at work together. I always thought she was cute, attractive. So I kept her on my Facebook. And we went out for one date. Over a decade later, she had gotten in a relationship. It was a good date, but she wasn't ready. And the timing just wasn't right. It's funny, I look back, I don't know if any of y'all can relate, just how sometimes you want something, but the timing just doesn't seem to be there, for whatever reason. But when it finally and actually is, I call that the great conjunction. Things were just needing to line up perfectly. The great conjunction. That's the other tattoo I want on this arm. I want that great conjunction from the dark crystal. I got the flash here because I'm a DC nerd boy. But as things were getting bad, and once again I had been told to move out, third time, and once again agreed, and my cousin called because Mom was not in good health. Dad had passed 17, 18 years prior, but Mom wasn't in good health, so I finally came back home. Like I said, I couldn't wait to fly the coop, but once I had kids, I never never wanted them to be without a grandparent, so I'd always bring them over whenever either of them wanted. I want to see the grandkids, or grandkids say, I want to see grandma, grandpa. I'd always bring them over, but oh gosh, Mom was so overbearing and critical. All these years, Dad lightened up on his prejudice, but I just needed to set my own way. But when she called and said that, I came over and visited, and Mom at 90 years old was not the same person 6 months prior. On her 90th birthday, she danced with like 10 different guys. No help, nothing, just out there dancing. 6 months later, she was using a little walker. And she sounded and looked different. Something was up. So it's been a couple of days here at the house while everyone was down, and would go back to the girlfriend's house. And I couldn't even drink at that point. I just would sit on the couch and having to decompress all these feelings and emotions. And I think she took pity on me, because it wasn't no longer you need to move out. But I knew I needed to, because I needed to be there for Mom. Gosh, the first dozen years of my life, she was everything I needed, relied on. I could at least pay some of that back, right? Thought about putting her in a home, but I was like, I can't do that. I'll tough it out. I'll be her caregiver. And I moved in hoping that I could help make her life easier, thinking maybe I have another year or two. But wound up thinking that as I'm working toward trying to help her and make her life easier here at the house, wound up being just 6 weeks, and passed because of congestive heart failure. Talk about the anxiety and panic attacks. Those got accelerated big time, and the drinking skyrocketed. She was a bit of a hoarder, so even moving in, I started feeling that, because like, oh my God, what do I have to clean here? But after she passed, that hit. So I sought therapy. I'll never deny therapist. I first sought therapist with the second wife. I'd go in there. What do they know? They're not going to be able to help me. Look at this fat guy. Doesn't even tuck in his shirt. Wrong! Because by the third session, I'm like, he knows so much. Oh my God, he's so wise. I'll never deny therapy. If you think you need therapy, go get it. Go get it. The way I see it is, sometimes we get in this tunnel and can only see things. These people are like overhead, getting a 50,000 foot view of the whole outlet. You're just focused on this. They can see everything, and they'll present angles you never even considered because you're in this. Or like my therapist also said, that computer sometimes doesn't know it has a virus. You told it to open the email. It doesn't understand why it took 20 minutes to open the email. It's opening the email. You told it to open the browser. Sure, 20 other tabs popped open, but it opened the browser. It doesn't know. I didn't know I had a virus. And it takes someone sometimes to give you that other angle to like, oh my God. And some things to work on. So I contacted a therapist once again and helped me with this. Did get on some medication that helped. I didn't want to stay on it though. I wanted solutions on how to solve it, not just use something else to numb out. And they really helped. They gave me a lot of tools, and eventually I was able to get past those anxiety and panic attacks. Did they stop? No, but I could see them coming. I knew what to do once I started to feel that, so that they wouldn't go into full-on panic attacks. But the alcohols was still there. Accelerate a year later, and now I'm starting to go through depression since Mom's gone. Sleeping in bed all day long, laying there, not moving much. So I called back the therapist. Need some help, boss? Panic attacks and anxiety? Nope, it's a whole new thing. It's depression. Thoughts of self-harm. Got me back on the medication. And it helped. For 2 years I was on that. before I thought, I think I've got this now. But during that time, even with the girlfriend, I still hadn't realized what self-love was, self-respect. But I understood that I could drink. And the drinking increased more and more every night. Would start with the whiskeys, liquors, whatever, and then finish what I would call a nightcap. Beer, wine. And then on weekends it started earlier and earlier. And then instead of it being a nightly thing, it used to be to where, well, I get off at this time. And I worked from home, so I would, on my last break, make my drink and put it in the fridge so that once that thing hit, time off, my drink's ready to go. And within 1 minute of getting off work, I could start drinking. And during that time, I was talking to this new girl, even though she wasn't really new in my life, but knew of our interest for each other. I had gone back and thought that there were a handful of times in the 5 years I was with, the last 5 years I was with that girlfriend, where she suggested, maybe you should stop drinking. Maybe you should lighten up. And I tried. Nothing would make it over 3 days. I'd get at best 3 days. And then it would start up again. I one time started feeling chest pains. She was a registered nurse, recommended this was while I was at work, have an ambulance come out. What if I'm having a beginning stage of a heart attack? So I spent 3 days in the ER. Never officially had a heart attack, so they only chalked it up to angina. And I got put on meds for that. And I told my doctor, they always talk to you, whether you're in the ER or once I started seeing my PCP or even my heart doctor, my cardiologist, how much you drinking? I was dead honest with them how much. Oh, you shouldn't drink that much. I told my doctor straight front, Doc, I ain't gonna stop drinking. That's my peace. I get anxiety when I don't drink. What can I drink that's better? Imagine this son of a gun telling his doctor he ain't gonna stop drinking, so give me better alternatives. He did, rum, gin, no sugars. Stop that craft beer, go to like seltzers. So I did. But look at me, instead of just stopping, trying to help myself. Kept on, just healthier alternatives? Yeah, right. That drug was still doing what it does best in the brain and the central nervous system, and I had no idea. So things finally ended with the girlfriend and this new girl I started seeing. And once again, as things progressed, I just fell head over heels. Asked her now to be my girlfriend. And she said yes. And I was just so happy. She seemed patient. She seemed very kind. But the drinking kept on. And she even asked me at one point, you should ease up. Again, I tried a couple days. But almost 10 months ago, something happened that changed my world. And Mom had a shed out here. I got the house after she passed, and I turned that shed that no one used, that looked like something from a horror story because it had just been sitting there for decades, into a bar. Yeah, spent over $10,000 turning into a bar. Imagine this. I basically made an expensive coffin, and I'd go there every night to drink. My little man cave, my bar shed. And we were in there one night. And that's the other thing about drinking is, for me, no more filters. And I'd use the excuse, well, I'm just being honest. But it's funny. Drinking sometimes sends me into a depressive episode. The sads. But then also flares things up that don't and never should be flared. No one's perfect, right? There's only been one perfect person. But even still, no matter if it's your friend, family, loved one, there's little things about them that maybe you don't care for, but Maybe it doesn't bother you all that much until you get alcohol. And that's what happened to me. The littlest thing that should have been nothing made it into a big thing that night. And she got a little self-conscious. I had moved her in with me, and this had been a little bit over a year together. And she asked, you want me to move out? Should I move out? I say, yeah, that's a good idea. And poured myself another. That was on September 21st. I'll never forget that. Part of the reason I think, and I didn't realize it at the time, but September 21st was also the anniversary, would have been the anniversary to the marriage. So I think subconsciously I was hurt still. And then the alcohol just sent me down that spiral and blew up something that I would have never blown up on, ever. Just accepted and moved on because it's not such a big thing. But no, here comes alcohol. And then so I was at 5 in the morning. I took my last drink. Yeah, 5 in the morning. Stayed up all night drinking. And at 5 in the morning, took my last drink. Went to bed. Woke up. She's moving out. And I helped her. We were civil. I was crying on the inside. And after she moved out, my brain told me, the fuck did you just do? What in the hell did you just do? And that first day was hell. I never did get back to sleep. I stayed up all night. I decided then I was going to quit, but then the brain kicked in and said, bullshit. Bullshit. You've said this so many times before. What's going to be different now? You've tried so many times to cut back and quit. What makes you think you're going to do it now? What are you going to do if this is true? So I called myself out on my own bullshit. And I never slept that day. I never drank that night. And I had bad twitches. My foot was twitching like crazy. I could not sleep. I started having auditory hallucinations. Nothing visual. But I heard voices, moms, noises, sweats. Got the sweats trying to sleep. Never did sleep. Stayed up. That next day, one of my cousins had been alcohol free, which was crazy because in mom's side of the family, my Mexican side, we were heavy drinkers. That's what we did. That's what our families did. We drank. Me and him were one of the worst at drinking because we never needed a reason or an excuse. It just became, let's drink. That's it. Morning, coffee, pour me some vodka, pour me some Kahlua, put some whiskey in. We didn't care. Pop open a beer, breakfast drink. Well, he had quit months before, and it shocked me. A little older than I am, but he quit? What? But you know what? That planted the seed within me. And then we had wound up having another family get together. Everyone was drinking, me included, but there he was just enjoying his refreshing Topo Chico while I drank the Topo Chico seltzers. But I'm like, he's still funny even sober. Look at him. And that seed got watered a little bit more. To where the next day after I vowed I wouldn't quit, I decided to reach out for help. And I text him. Because he used to show people, like, how long's it been? And he'd pull up this thing and say, look, it's been this long, X amount of months. And I thought, that's what I need. I need to start tracking this. Let me find that. So I text him, and he's usually good at texting back, but I text him, hey, what's that app you use to track your drinking? Your sober days. I want that. I'm going to stop. It's been a day. Normally he's good at replying back, but he was busy. He didn't. So after a couple hours, I got antsy. That's my OCD. Excuse me. I was like, I'll find the app. I stumbled across this app called Reframe. I'm like, oh, that's it. That's my drink counter. Let me download it. And I opened it up. I'm like, wait, that's not the same thing he used. But what is this? Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That damn thing appeared, and It was exactly what I needed. That app had so much. And I'm an IT guy, I know this stuff. I was all over it. It had a counter, it had neuroscience information about what happens, it had a forum for people to chat on, it had little tools for how to overcome cravings and all kinds of stuff. It had meditations. I don't do fucking meditations. It had this and it had that and it had meetings. What the heck? So I jumped in with both feet. I'm like, here you go. You want to know how to quit? This is it. If you're serious, let's go. And I ate it all up. On the forum, I'd jump in, talk to them, X days. What, this helped, that helped. I read this book, I watched this podcast, watched this video, listen to these songs, blah, 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 blah. I was a sponge. I'm like, okay, let's watch those podcasts. Let's watch it. Let's get that book. And it was Annie Grace's This Naked Mind that changed my life. Because the pirate in me did find a pirated version online. And I started reading it that night. But I was like, this is too good. I can't just pirate it. I got to buy it. So I bought it. It's going to be a couple days, but meanwhile, I got the pirated version. And then she had podcast, watched all those. Then that led to other ones. Sober as fuck. Then other people that got interviews like the Huberman Labs, Diary of a CEO. I was just eating it up. Gabby Bernstein, books, meetings, all this stuff. And then, whoa, I get a week under my belt. Oh my God. What am I going to do? I'm not drinking, but I was just eating all this stuff up. And that was all where my time was. I'd fall asleep listening to podcasts. I'd wake up, they'd still be playing. I'd do that. I'd read whenever I could. I'd put this on, listen to these music. And then someone said, just start doing something. Get your ass outside. Okay. I got a Greenway trail behind me. Let's start going for walks. I'd go to little shopping centers. Let's go for walks around there. Just get out to bide some time. I had an old bike I never rode. Let me get on that bike. Let's air up tires, everything. And just to get out, and I was listening to so many songs when I'd walk or go for a ride and wondering, man, am I going to be able to make 2 weeks? Then am I going to be able to make a month? The Kelly Clarkson song came on, 3 months sober. I'm like, will I ever make 3 months? Car's going off. It's a good time to stop part 3. Looks like we are going to need a part 4. So I'll talk to y'all soon. They're a little horny today, aren't they? All right, talk to y'all soon. Love y'all.